Hi everyone, Raphael Harry here, and you're listening to White Label American, a podcast where we hear stories from an immigrant or two, sometimes more. Thank you for listening and enjoy the show. Welcome to another episode of White Label American. Thank you all for joining us today. I'm your host, as always, Raphael Harry. To everyone who's new, thank you for being here with us. Thank you for listening. Welcome, new listeners. If you don't know how to support the show, join us on Patreon. Give us 5 stars. Buy our merch. It's very important. We're an independent podcast, so we need all the support we can get. With that being said, for as low as $3, but we take gold, we take Bitcoins has good value right now, so we'll accept Bitcoins. Give us everything. And we accept jewelry too, like real gold, silver. Well, we'll take silver. Don't bring bronze, but bring gold. Yes, we accept that. So with that being said, now you know why I said gold and jewelries and all that good stuff. And we have the distinguished guest with us today, Vlad Margarit. Beautiful name. We've not had anybody with that name for a long time. He's a dynamic professional thriving in the jewelry industry. Together with his wife, they've built a jewelry brand from the ground up. So today we'll be talking about how he got into all that, how he works with his wife, and how he deals with his creative passions, because he's not just limited to just jewelry. He does videography, photography, content creation, post-production editing, and graphic design as well to elevate their brand. So welcome to the show, Vlad. How are you doing today?
I appreciate it. Everything is good.
Yes, glad to hear that. So let's go to the very beginning and special shout out to our boy Zoo Diallo for bringing Vlad into my circle and my attention, because Zoo was the one who introduced Vlad to me. And if you can't remember who Zoo was, go check our previous episodes. Zoo has been on the podcast before. Remember, he was born in Mali, and his partner has also been on the show. She was on Mother's Day episode last year, and she has to come do a solo episode too. That reminds me, so I'll get her, Yulia. So yeah. So back to Vlad. So can you introduce us to the meaning of your name, and if there's a story behind how you came to have your names?
Yeah, so my family name, Margarit, I have it from my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I learned, it means pearl or something like that.
Pearl?
Pearl, you know?
Yeah.
It's significance like wisdom and some other stuff,
Yeah.
which I was surprised to find out that's what it means. Also, the short part of margarita, A lot of people are like, oh, like the drink, which is funny.
Yeah.
And then my name as Vlad, it's pretty tough too. It's the Impaler, Vlad Dracula. And I have few friends over here who actually were calling me just the Impaler, which was funny. And yeah, it just happened, to... The story with Dracula actually is way more alive here in the States than in Romania,
Yeah, we're talking about that before.
Yeah, and I like it more here. Over there was not that discussed, but here it's more enjoyable.
Man. So your name Vlad, is it just Vlad, or is it a short for a longer version?
No, it's just Vlad.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think you're the first person who I've met that's just Vlad. I think most people who I've met with Vlad is usually a longer version. And
from where I'm from, it's it's not that popular, but it is like a known name.
Okay.
Vlad.
So with that being said, can you tell us a little bit about where you were born, and introduce us to your neck of the woods of the area where you come from?
Yes. So I'm not that good to I'm not a fan to identify myself with places or let's say concepts when it comes to nationalities and stuff.
No.
No, but I'm saying, so I was born in Bucharest, which is the capital of a country, Romania,
Yeah.
and it's a beautiful country. Beautiful. It's pretty small, but close to Germany. It's in a great place over there. And actually, I think Romania right now it's one of the best places to live. Like safety,
Mm-hmm.
the food is still good. Everything is pretty okay. It's not like madness, even though we have a war right next door, but it's still a good place to be. So, yeah, I lived over there until I was 30 years old. No, actually, I was 29 when I left. Um, and then I went to Bermuda for a little bit, and then I came here to the States.
Okay.
But
Pause.
yeah, we should.
Bermuda. Okay, that's good. We'll come to Bermuda because that's we have to visit the Bermuda Triangle. But before we come to the
Yeah, that's
Bermuda
another
Triangle,
good
um,
story.
staying with your childhood,
Yes.
what was your childhood like in Bucharest? Because yeah, that's one part of the world that always fascinates me, and I think thanks to all the vampire stories that have been out there, I think everybody just has a misconception about that place as if only vampires and werewolves and all the rest hang out there. But yeah, you grew up there. So what was your childhood like over there?
Um, so the childhood in school, you have your boys, that you're always hanging out, and the neighbors were actually my colleagues in school.
Mm-hmm.
We had a great childhood. No phones, no nothing. We were just screaming at each other, "Hey, come on, let's go!" We were deciding what time to meet and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of great memories with my friends. It was pretty tough when it comes to, I don't know, in a sense to do. There were not too many things to do, so it was always in communities like here.
So you were in the city. You were in the city proper.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Actually, close to like 20 minutes from the city.
Okay.
Um, what else? Yeah, it was just
So what did you guys do for fun?
like playing soccer,
Yeah.
playing basketball, uh, going, taking. We used to have like a huge park, kind of like Central Park, but also with lakes, and we were going there like swimming and a lot of good stuff. We were traveling with the subway since we were kids, so it was pretty easy.
Okay.
Um, yeah, a lot of events, of course. Young boys getting into trouble, having two brothers, one it's older, one it's younger, and it was
So you're the middle.
yeah, on the middle. And I just found out Zoo also he's the middle brother.
Yeah, so that's why you two get along.
Probably, right?
So, in all that, what would you consider your favorite childhood memory to be at this moment?
Mhm. I think my favorite one was when my dad used to take us on the country road.
Mm-hmm.
So we were going outside the city on a country road, and we were building like a lap, and he was putting us to drive. I was like 14, 13, something like that. And just driving the car, it was so amazing for us. And he was lap timing us, me and my brother, and sometimes some other friends. But that was the best time as enjoying. Just I always liked machines and stuff, cars or whatever it was, motorcycles. But that was one of the best times in my childhood. Just driving on the country road with a car, it was amazing.
What kind of car were you driving?
It was a German car, Opel, like
yeah.
a big one,
Uh-huh.
like 2.3 diesel,
Wow.
just rear wheel drive. I
Mhm.
was like, I loved it. A little bit of drift, a little bit of this and that. Yeah, my dad taught us a lot of things.
Were you thinking about becoming a Formula One driver?
That was my dream since I was a kid. And my dad was actually such a big fan. I was Schumi from Michael Schumacher.
Schumacher, yeah.
And my younger brother was Mika from Mika Hakkinen.
Yeah, Hakkinen.
Because they were the best at that time. And
yeah, I remember that rivalry.
yeah, and I remember he was waking us even early at 5 o'clock. Depends what the race was.
Yes, there were some early
But he was
races.
such
Yeah,
a
because I
fan.
remember back
Yeah.
Yeah, Nigeria. The time then, the time difference would
Hmm.
be some races
And I'm
would be
still
early
watching
morning.
Formula One.
Yeah, I follow it now.
It's more complicated now, and too many things are happening.
Mhm.
But it's still the best racing from what from what
Yeah,
I've seen.
I missed the opportunity to see it live when I arrived in Bahrain.
Oh, nice.
Um, I was going to the that was the first time it was coming to Bahrain.
Hmm.
The Formula One would have happened there, and then Arab Spring happened, so it got moved. And by the time it came back the next year, there was something going on
And
with
it switch
work,
up.
so I couldn't go. But the
Hmm.
crowd that came into the country, the hotels, the people, I was like, this is
Yeah,
really
it's like a
huge.
huge sport.
Yeah, so um, yeah, but I was like, I think after then I just stopped watching. After I was mad about not going to see the race in person because the if it had um, taken place during, I think it was literally like almost up to a week or two
Hmm.
until the date. There were still
Plan.
plans about it was going to happen, and then they finally said, "No, they're moving it," and they finally moved it to I think Qatar. Or, yeah,
Yeah, probably.
and then but
For
the next year
the
they brought it
race.
back to Bahrain. But yeah, I went on the tracks. I still have photos. We drove on the tracks. They allowed us to drive. And put on the racing suit. Oh, look at that! Look at me!
It's so cool.
Yeah, well, it was just go karts though, not real cars that
Yeah.
I ain't driving that fast. Nah, no,
Yeah.
no, I can't. But yeah, Formula One was it's yeah. I grew up with Michael Schumacher. I was also a Schumacher guy.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, he was especially on the rain. When he was raining, we knew he's gonna win.
yeah. I
Like
didn't.
Lewis Hamilton now, when he
Yeah,
rains,
I
he's
didn't
amazing.
think when Schumacher was raining. I didn't think anyone could beat his
Hmm.
record or could come and take over. So that's why I had huge admiration for Hamilton. And then,
Yeah,
and it's also black. So, it's also cool to see that.
he's an amazing
And
person.
then now he's going to Ferrari. So it's
Mm.
a double win because I became a Ferrari guy because of Schumacher. So it was always tough to like spot Hamilton because he wasn't Team Ferrari, and then now he's going to Team Ferrari, so I can go all in with Hamilton.
I guess. Yeah,
I can't be
I'm
acting like
curious
I'm
how it's gonna
betraying
be.
my Formula One team, So,
That's
uh,
awesome.
so while you were uh, in back in Bucharest,
Yes.
staying back in Bucharest, as a young person, what were other when did you start developing interest, you start finding yourself,
Hmm.
what were some ways you did you what in what ways did you express yourself? So um yeah, let's go with careers, like as in jobs that
Jobs.
yeah, because that's a
Um.
form of expressing yourself.
Yeah. So I was not a big fan of school
Mm-hmm.
because we just got off. We just finished in the '90s with a revolution and stuff like that. I was born in '86, so I caught the revolution over there when I was four and a half, and I remember tanks and stuff on the street. It was terrible, horrible. But after that, when I went to school, like after a couple of years, everybody was still wearing the same outfits, same stuff. So I was never a big fan of school, you know.
Mm.
Um, I didn't like, was not a, um, I didn't find it interesting the way the educational system, how you have with notes. From there was like the four was the smallest one, or you can take like two, for example, up to 10 is like A plus will be here, you know.
Okay.
So I didn't like this comparison of way of thinking because it was a lot of separation, division between us as kids. It was feeling very well. I had that feeling since I was a kid, since I start school actually. So I was always leaving from school. I had my educator at that time. Yeah, was a lady. She was not very nice to us. She was kind of slapping us,
Yeah.
especially me. I was pretty dark,
Mm-hmm.
like brown, especially in summer. Anyway, she didn't like me that much. I didn't like the system and her way of teaching. It didn't kind of make sense to me. So because I didn't like it, I was kind of skipping school. My dad
Ah.
didn't know. Of course, they don't know because you're so young.
Yeah.
They walk you to school and then they pick you up.
Yes.
So every time I was smart enough to let him bring me to the school, or actually my older brother, and bring me to the school, and sometimes I was getting out of the school before he got out of the school and run, and I was just staying on streets, man. I was just going,
Uh,
taking the bus, taking the subway. I was just going through the as a young boy,
yeah.
and I was still
Exploring.
safe. It was still safe that
Yeah.
time. So yeah, I didn't stay too long in school, and because the until the third um, grade, I didn't. I had so many, how you call it, when I skipped so many times school
Yeah. So many
that
classes.
year, so many classes that I had to repeat
Mm.
that one. So that was perfect because my brother was 1 year behind me, and I caught up with him. And now he was on the A class where
Yeah.
he was learning English and stuff. I was on the C class. So somehow he moved with me because he was like, "Come on." I was like, "Come on, let's be together in the same class." And
Ah.
since we moved together, everything changed. So yeah, we had an amazing time at school. And again, I didn't went to high school because I was like, I don't like this type of school. And high school was much better. But I had a break. I remember the summer break, and I told my mom I want to make some money and stuff like that. And she was working for one of our cousins who had a restaurant, and she was like, "Okay, let me see if she has something or whatever." And she found me as a bar back in that restaurant, and on my cousin restaurant. So that's what happened. I started around 14. I was when I had that break between before trying to get into high school.
Yeah.
I was like, let me make some money, and from just let me make some money, I just stayed in at a job, having working.
So what did the barback do?
So barback, I was bringing bottles in the front. I
Oh.
was like barback,
Yeah.
stuff like that. I was not making too many cocktails,
Yeah.
but I learned. Eventually, I learned, and
Yeah. Because you're in the environment and you
yeah,
watch.
it was nice to work in that restaurant. A very, very good restaurant, very popular in Bucharest, like the old Bucharest. Everything was
So was
like
it
a museum inside.
Romanian cuisine?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Next to the House of Popor, where it's very political area, very nice,
Mm.
very nice. Oh,
So
that
before
was my first job,
okay,
and
cool.
I started working as a bar back. And after 6 months, I remember my mom was pushing me. No, you have to get ready. Go back to school. Do this, do that. And I was like, I like it staying with older people. I like their problems. They were having like not. I like their problems, but I like their discussions. It was more interesting and more make more sense for me.
So you like
Yeah,
learning from that
exactly. So I like
environment.
working. I like making money. I like having no new entourage. Like new
Hmm.
people, older, new more stuff about than me. And I didn't went to school. Then I remember I got the one of the servers from there, like an older guy. At that time, he was probably 45 because he was old school
Yeah.
restaurant. So I was like, for me to become a pickle, and I was like, man, you have to teach me exactly word by word, everything, how to do it. He was like, of course, you're gonna catch it right away. So he taught me how to become a pickle and help and do all those things, like a assistant server.
Yeah.
And I learned, I liked it. I knew I was actually I think I was the only one who knew English into that restaurant. So we were having a lot of tourists from here, from the States, a lot of
Oh.
big tables, yeah, with a lot of people. And I was the only one speaking English. So eventually I became like a event organizer because we were having dancers, we were having uh, not mariachi, but still like people who sing on all kinds of like piano or
Mm-hmm.
violin or other stuff,
So you had
depends of
like
the show.
bands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were having show after show after show. And with dancers also, after they had this beautiful ballroom dance as a pair, then they were going and inviting guests from the restaurant. It was such a nice vibe, beautiful show
And all
throughout the
this
night.
before you became 18.
This was, yeah, when I was 16, yeah, 14
Wow.
to 16. And I had a great time. I was making a lot of money. And then she was my cousin, she was keep the owner, she was keep calling me back, like, come on, come on. And I was working every day, man, from 5 to midnight. And young, I had all those money. I didn't have the time to
To spend it.
spend it. And eventually I left. And then I worked as an assistant for some famous lawyer over there for a while.
So like a paralegal
No, honestly, I was more
or
like
secretary.
I like an
So,
assistant and also a driver and a little bit of a, yeah,
oh,
something like
so
that.
well,
Yeah,
that's a real
he was having
assistant.
bodyguards. He was
Yeah.
having a huge firm, like a huge villa with
Okay.
all those lawyers and stuff. Well, huge law firm. But I was 17 when he got me, so I was just fine to wear a suit, like a Givenchy suit. I was fancy. He helped me, he got me those stuff just to be part of the team and look presentable like
Mhm.
everybody else. And after that, I remember I just switched to real estate. In real estate was amazing. This was around 2006. No, wait, I'm jumping too much now. So I stayed with him. Yeah, we worked a couple of years. Yeah, let's see. I jumped up. I stayed. I worked like 4 years with him.
And why did you leave him?
Um, Things changed, and I was looking now to do something else. After, and when you're young, you're kind of like, oh, this sounds good. This sounds good. So I was trying stuff. I was experimenting different industries. I knew I don't want to be a lawyer because I know how they work and what's happening. My younger brother finished the law school, and restaurants, I really liked it, but I was making money in no time. Then I switched. I realized I don't want to be a lawyer for sure. And then when I got to real estate, I had a great time. I was actually an associate because a friend of mine, she was having this Remax franchise from here.
Oh,
Franchise, yeah.
yeah. I was about to
So
say
she
Remax. I've seen
from
that
here.
here.
So over there, you're an associate. So I was paying to be in that part, in
Okay.
that team. And eventually I had like two big projects, very nice places. One was 60 homes that I was about to sell, with building them. You have the constructor, you have everybody, and I was the one who was selling them through Remax. Anyway, I had also another huge project with homes, with solar panels, with some good, amazing technology. But it just happened that 2007, right? The
Oh yeah,
crisis came,
the financial crisis.
and I was back to zero.
Wow.
So a lot of times you find out that society, it really ruins your life in a way. And society is us, right? It's what we build, what we put out there. So I realized early that I didn't do anything bad. I was having two amazing projects, and then somehow, somewhere, I don't know where, which was started from here in a way, the problem with the financial crisis, it ruined my life in Bucharest, and
Yeah,
not just mine,
the ripple
millions of
effects.
people, right?
Yeah,
So
billions actually.
yeah. So since early, I start thinking about it, what's happening? Why nobody's giving up, you know, or what's going on? So since then, I start becoming more curious about
No,
what's
no, no.
society, what are
Yeah.
relationships, all those fundamental, deep way of thinking.
Okay, we'll come to that
Yeah.
though, because I really admire the way you were able to, you know, uh, I think one problem I suffered from was that something was working for me. I would just stay there and not leave. But it wasn't. It was part of my programming that if it's working, we'll down.
Hmm.
If it's what how do they say it again? Don't don't break. How do they say it? Don't break a team. team that works. Don't break it. Don't fix what's not broken. Right?
Okay, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
I get
something
what you
like
say.
yeah.
Don't fix
Don't
what's
fix
not
what's not
broken.
broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just-
If it's broken, don't fix it.
Oh, okay. It's okay. The fix that works too.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of us suffer from something like that, and it's amazing to see that you were introduced to a field. You walked in there at a young age, and you were successful. And you're like, well, I can go try something else. And
Yeah.
you found a new passion and you followed it. And did nobody ever try to stop you when you were like, okay, I'm moving to something else? And people are like, why are you leaving? This is working great for you, right? You're making money. Stay.
Oh,
How did you
okay.
react anytime if anybody tried to stop you, from moving from one field to another field? Back
A lot
then?
of people, especially the older ones, they were trying to push me to go back to school,
Mm-hmm.
which I agree. It makes sense. Like, go just have your diploma, have all those stuff. But I was like, I'm gonna waste so much time and money, and it's not just about money in a way or time, which are pretty much the same those days. But it's like I remember after I was finished work or I was doing those projects or something, and go back home. I loved hanging out with my neighbors, my entourage from back home. But still, the discussions were superficial, just hee hee ha ha, nothing complicated, not about the big world out there, nothing about something to, open your mind that much. So for me, moving from one industry to industry, I kind of feel like, okay, it's just about learning the skills, which any human being, if you're born and you're okay, your body is fine, you have all the fingers and stuff, you and you're healthy, you can learn skills in any industry and it will help you to make money. It's not like it's not impossible, it's just your will if you want to do it, or if you discover what you like to do.
Yeah.
So for me, I was kind of jumping from one to another, still looking for, I wouldn't jump from real estate because my life was like, okay, from this project, from those 60 homes, either I get the money, which is one home from there, or I'm gonna keep the home for myself. So I was planning either to move there or to sell it or invest in something else. So the life was going into that direction. But like I said, when the crisis came and everybody got, I had to readjust. I was back home thinking about, okay, what's next now? Because the real estate is blocked. Nobody's selling, nobody's.
Everything
So it's back
collapsed.
to zero, right?
Yeah. But
And
well, why I asked that question is that, the it's like going back to like the very first job. You're 14.
Yeah.
You start working in the restaurant space. I get it from the adults, like, but before I even go on that question, like in Nigeria, most jobs require an average of a high school certificate, which is what it would be called.
Oh, I agree. What you're saying, yeah.
So,
I understand.
Except if you're President Buhari, who did not have one, and I know for a fact, we all know because we saw what he did. So there are ways around it. That's the point I'm trying to make. However, so if you don't have a high school certificate in many parts of the world,
how you get jobs?
It's usually extra difficult
Yeah.
for you to survive. Like even here in America, we see how it's still, it's really people like they really will try to make sure you try and get a certificate at least. So when I can see people trying to say you should get at least that diploma, even if you're getting money. So I can understand that advice, but when you're making that switch from the restaurant, which is why I admire your steps that you took, that you weren't afraid to venture out and try something completely, and then conquer it. You weren't, you still went for what you wanted to do, and you weren't shying away. But and the school, because school is not necessarily it's not the be all end all. I think many people are beginning to realize that. But I'm not against getting, as they say, get diploma if you.
This
if you can get
type
it.
of system.
Yeah, all over the world. I'm still recommend getting a diploma.
Yeah,
At
no,
the
it's
end of the
still
day.
good. You have to go and at least
Just
for the socialized skills that you'll
especially
learn
socialized skills very
that
important
you'll
too.
learn in school. Yeah.
But back then, I'm
Yeah,
going to back then when you were for that first one when you were 14, and
14.
you know, getting to 16, and then you're
Yeah.
not deciding to move to your next job was the law firm, right? You
Yeah,
moved from restaurant
as
to
an assistant for the
yeah,
big.
yeah, from the restaurant
Yeah.
to the big
Hmm.
law firm.
That's how we met in the
So
restaurant. Yeah.
yeah, in the restaurant. So your cousin not try to stop you when you were leaving,
Oh my
and
God, no!
like
She cried. She cried.
you sure you want to go to the law firm? They can fire you, that kind of thing.
No,
You
it
gonna
was
leave
hard to me.
family and all
It
that.
was hard. My mom was upset.
Hmm.
Everybody was upset. Everybody was against. Don't do that. Don't be silly. You're making so much money. I was helping my mom. I was helping family and everybody. But this guy came. I met him at this wedding that we were doing there, and he offered me, "Hey, you want to be like my assistant? I have those amazing guests. You can bring us a coffee. You're gonna hang out. We can travel. We can do this." He was having a lot of people with him, not just me and him.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of people, the driver, the secretary, or whatever. And I was like, of course, and I was curious to see more
Hmm.
about life because this job I was already doing it amazing,
Yes.
amazing. Because I liked it and I was fast and I wanted to do stuff, and I had to switch. And I realized also that by switching from one to another, it's like so good to have this psychological revolution in a sense, like, okay, let's readjust now. And to your point, it's very important to have the diploma,
Hmm.
but it's also very important to learn skills, life skills.
Yes.
If you learn all those skills, then you can go in any industry in a way and sit down with people, and have this relationship, have a understanding, because at the end of the day, it's not everything about money. It's just about, okay, what do you want? What do I want? Can you get what you want? Yes. Can I get what I want? Yeah. Then it's a deal. That's the
I'm glad
negotiation,
I'm glad you said that because uh, the person who I was at that age, if I had an opportunity like you did, I probably would have chosen loyalty to family over that.
Mhm.
But my heart would have wanted to go with the lawyer, but I would have chosen loyalty to family because
I mean,
it's
you
just
have to
you gotta stay and because it's the
you have to
same.
get to know yourself,
Yeah,
how you are.
but you because now I can understand what you're saying about the teacher having issues with you
Oh yeah.
because you were
Always.
already
Over there, a lot of people were calling me gypsy because I was tan.
ah
So over
that
there,
was another question I was going to
you're.
ask you
Mhm.
if you ever interacted with
Yeah.
gypsies or
Yeah. I interacted. Yeah.
at a
Because they
young
were
age.
at a young age. Yeah. And I remember my dad also actually was pretty crazy. He was telling me, like, be careful with gypsies because it's not that they are bad people. It's just you cannot trust them. You don't know if they lie or not.
Hmm.
Sometimes, especially you're young. And he was right. A couple of times I had those interactions with gypsies and I learned pretty fast. One was actually my very good friend for a while. But still, when it came to something serious, he abandoned me. He left me. He
Mm.
ran.
Mm.
So I was like, okay, you're in the boat with me, but in once the small turbulence, you're just gonna jump out,
Jump out.
abandon. So there was no trust, no
Yeah.
loyalty.
Yeah.
Not all of them probably, but
Of
the one
course.
that I encountered.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was not easy, in my it's funny. My dad was also a little brown, but my other two brothers, they are like white. For me, I love it because I can get tan. Everything looks amazing on me. And for them, they have to hide, like, oh, I don't want to get sunburn or something.
So
So I was lucky actually in a way
is there a
to get this from
possibility
my
that
dad.
you got gypsy blood?
No, because my dad was not gypsy. No.
What about
And
great great grandparents?
no, no.
Okay.
And I will not be against or anything. And honestly, I don't care. But I'm just saying that's how people. I had a stud over here, right? When I
Mhm.
was a kid, also, it was a trend. Actually, it was not a trend. There was very few people. So people that time they were just judging you just because I was having a stud here. A lady called
On
me,
your
"Oh,
lips.
Satan."
On your lip.
Yeah. So people back
Wow.
there is like very, back in
So
time in a way.
for
It
those
used to be.
who are
Yeah.
not on Patreon, on Patreon you can watch the video. Vlad
The
just
lip
he pointed
first.
to his
Yeah.
lips. that he had a stud on his lips. So that's another reason why you should join Patreon so you can watch the video. But wow, so that was like what, a sign of Satan to
Yeah,
some people?
just simple stuff like that. Somebody will be like, "Oh, you're Satan. Oh, you're a gypsy." Like, I get it, and that's another thing I didn't like. Same language, which was totally fine, but same beliefs, same, especially when stories that I loved are after, on communism times, everybody was happy, everything was clean, beautiful, and so on. But everybody was snitching on each other. Yeah, the doors were open, so you can go to your next neighbor. The door were open, in your building. But everybody was snitching on each other to the police or something like that, So it's still not like a real beautiful relationship, It's still like everybody's forced to like each other because you have to tell on the other. It's kind of like North Korea now, or who knows other parts. So I never liked this one track mind or one language and stuff. And from real estate, because I went back to zero.
Sorry, before you go on,
please,
real estate, because I know we'll get to Bermuda soon.
Yeah,
I just want to get one thing about one more thing about the revolution period, because you say you remember a little bit about the revolution. What more do you remember, like when it ended? You say you remember the tanks, but just in a brief summary.
Some of my memories.
Yeah, what are the memories of the revolution that you remember, apart from the...
So I'll tell you the most scary ones. The scary one was, I remember we were going back home from my mom's sister, which we just visit, and it was me. My mom was holding my younger brother in her arms, me by the hand, so I was like kind of like this with her, and my older brother was walking next to us, and we were just going home, and it was this like big intersection over there, and there was just like a line of tanks coming into the city, and chaos everywhere, people running, people trying to... It was chaos, like scary. And I feel my mom was scared. Imagine a woman with 3 kids, and some veggies or whatever she had with us, the bags, and just try to get home. And this was happening, for a while. We knew in the city, but that was like the closest I've been to the tanks, like right next to us, going army and stuff like that. It was very scary. And then another thing, because my dad was a police officer, some high rank, I don't remember what. In their station where he was in the neighborhood over there, it came like a big order, like, hey, you have to go out, and if somebody is obey or something, shoot people.
Wow.
Yeah. So he was like, what? On the phone, like, what? Are you crazy? Okay. He closed the phone, and then to his team and everybody there, he was like, those are the laws in a way that we have to follow, or the rules, but we're not going to do that. So he just hold over the policeman in the station for a while, in the station. And the moment passed, so they stayed there for a while, and eventually they had to go home or something like that, everybody. So he hold them there, not to go and do some crazy shit. And I remember next day we had people trying to come and attack us, so we had to barricade our home, our door. Luckily, we're on the last floor of the building, so the only way to get to us, you'll have to come on the top of the building and get in. But it was pretty tough. And my dad was having a gun, but we put a lot of furniture, a lot of things at the door, and they came. The car that we were having, he put it like 10 blocks away, so nobody can find it. And we just stayed in a house for like 3-4 days, closed, nothing.
Wow.
And we had like few people came and tried to. And anyway, on the street was revolution, it was like crazy madness. So it was a scary thing.
They were coming to your house because your dad was a police
Exactly,
officer?
and he disobeyed the orders.
Oh.
So those people from police, somebody, I don't know what happened, they were like, no, we're gonna arrest this guy because he disobeyed or some shit like that. I don't know. And who gave the orders? My dad was like, no, nobody's going. So he hold them in the station. Yeah. So, and after that, he came home, and then we got attacked and stuff like that. But luckily, we were free after 2-3 days.
Wow.
Things settled at that time, and then I don't know, we just got out. But another thing that I realized early, in life that it's way more important to have a psychological revolution, just a psychic one, than having a physical one. Because physical one are always hurting, right? They're always the worst possible scenario can happen. But when you just have a psychological one, you don't have to express that one, if it makes sense.
Why do you
In
say
other
that?
words, it's we change our mind, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to bring a revolution to change something, right?
Yeah.
And then we all gonna have our minds change, and from here we're gonna act according to the new way of living, right?
Yeah. New
But
information
what
comes
if we
in, and
exactly?
then
What if we just change our mind before we do the physical revolution, if it makes sense, and we have the revolution just in our psychic, in our consciousness as humans,
how do the humans get that psyche changed? That's the big question.
to to go through those. I mean, it's a deep subject to go into, but the easiest way would be just to have an open mind. In other words, to have a free mind.
Mm.
Because once we attach or we identify ourselves with bigger concepts or yeah ideas, then you act according to those things. So if you free yourself from those, I mean, put them on the side for a moment, and then you see the truth will show you what it is to do in that moment, right? If you see something dangerous, you're not gonna say, oh, let me study, what is this, oh, this thing is called that way, is that you're not gonna, if you have the time to stay and make an analysis of that thing, of the danger, then you might be dead, in a way. But in those moments you just have to put the intellect of the side and just see what's really happening. Your
Right in front of you.
all senses, be aware what you feel, what you hear, what you smell, what all those things. So when you bring this harmony in your of the intelligence of the body, and plus you as a you have knowledge and you can see what's happening,
Yeah.
then you take the exact, you do the right thing, in other words, it's a complicated,
It is
it is a
complicated.
little
That's why
complicated,
I asked why.
but that's why it's better to have a psychological revolution
Which I think,
instead of
yeah.
having the physical one, and then everybody change their mind.
Mm. I think
If people will
on,
listen, yeah,
I think on a good day, I would that many of us would love to see that,
yeah, that's
but
a
it's
completely different discussion. But
yeah, but
to go
in
into it slowly,
in a world where I bring 100 people and 100 people say this is my truth, and I'm like, God damn.
yeah, the truth, that's the part, because everybody believes this
there's a
is
child dying right now. We gotta take a
yeah,
child to the hospital. And it's like, well,
exactly.
who my healthcare, the government ain't gonna tell my healthcare. I said, we
Yeah,
gotta
they're
take a
not
child
gonna
to the
treat
hospital.
my child.
This child is dying right now.
Yeah,
Call
because it doesn't
911.
have a paper
Well,
with the.
wait, I'm like, okay.
So you see, that's what I'm talking about. Like the crisis is now, is
it's
new.
now,
The kid
exactly.
is here.
Mm-hmm.
If you want me to wait for, just I'll do it now. Make sure the
While one
bleeding
person is
stops,
calling 911,
and then I'll do whatever you
can
want.
lift the child's head
Yeah.
up if that's what we need to be done. You
Mhm.
apply first aid no, but I'm like, oh, no, okay, you don't get it.
You see? So that's what I'm talking about. People need to understand before we get into this revolt, right? In this revolution. Because if they will get it at the beginning, this way is not gonna work.
Yeah.
You have to act now, then the physical one will not happen. And usually physical revolution comes again with pain, with suffering.
Actually, you remind me after the recording, I will send you an interview that I listened to recently. There's a case that there's not been a successful revolution.
Mhm.
I think there's only been one or two.
I mean,
there's never
they
been a
cannot be.
successful revolution.
Exactly.
But that's a separate sidebar.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
if you guys want me to talk about that, I will do that on Patreon. I won't give you all that free loaders. You're not getting that. No, that's too deep. I mean, myself and Vlad can talk.
So that was
I'll bring
about
Ashwin. Ashwin
revolution.
just had surgery, so he should be feeling better by then. But yeah, you have to sit down with Ashwin for that one. That's my chaos master. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I like those.
But so we'll not spend too much time on this because freeloaders ain't paying for that one. So they gotta pay for that. That's too good. I love that kind of discussion. But I haven't forgotten about Bermuda. So financial crisis happens. What's the next step you take?
Oh, the crisis, yeah. After the crisis, the friend that I was actually a partner from this association with Remax. Uh, we were like, "What we gonna do now, bro?" And he had somebody with a space and a powerful uncle, something like that. He was like, "Guys, I can help you with a huge space over here, like an old um, deposit for furniture." And we were like, "Okay, let's build a grand ballroom because people are still gonna have weddings, you know."
Hmm.
So we were kind of approaching the situation, what people are doing,
Yeah,
and we're always gonna do, you know. So weddings, we're always gonna
that's right.
have them, stuff like that. I knew about hospitality, a great high class service style from my cousin place. Like I said, the place was
So
amazing.
what you did at age 14
The
coming
forks
through.
and knives were
Hmm.
silver, so it was like super high class, only for like the high society. So I was like, I know the deal how to organize teams and stuff like that. We're gonna figure out. Let's check the place. So we went. We saw the place was like a huge, huge, huge place, and we were thinking about it now. How should we do it? Should we split it in two? So we do like 200 and 200, like two events at once,
Oh.
or we do like just one huge event. So like no, let's just leave it big because there were already a lot of small grand ballrooms. You know, like
Hmm.
when you do 100 or 20, 250 or 300, but we were like minimum 150. You know, up to 600. So I did a lot of huge events over there in ballroom weddings. I organized most of them myself because I was sitting down with the couple, you know, and taking, and it was amazing. So this was another couple of years
So
which we built a
sorry to interject there.
yeah.
You just remind me of something. What what's the average size of a Romanian
Wedding.
societal wedding? Yeah.
So for Romanians, it's around. It can start from 80 to 250. But my friend, it was Macedonian.
Yeah, Macedonia.
So usually they are,
Well, I say it again.
yeah,
I like
Macedon,
Macedon. Okay.
Macedon. That's how I know for sure.
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah, I think that's the original.
It's
Yeah,
a
yeah. I guess
beautiful.
I've been seeing
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
they have
very
a
American.
it's a beautiful community over there.
Hmm.
Huge. Most of them are like very well established. And when we're doing also their weddings, those weddings were like huge, up to 600 people.
Oh wow.
So, but it was so beautiful, man. I remember I had to set the tables in such a way that they will dance not just on the ring dance, which was a huge place
Hmm.
to dance, but also between the tables. So you're having this line of people dancing and somebody amazing. So I learned the dance. I learned all the community. Most
Okay,
of
so
them
we got
knew
a
me.
confirmed dancer here. That's good. That'll come in handy.
Yeah, I had an amazing time over there. Crazy
uh,
problems, like running a business and stuff. It's always insane. And now we were not doing just events like weddings. We were doing baptism, or we started actually doing catering because we had such a huge uh, kitchen that you
oh,
have to
I
cook.
assumed all that was
Yeah,
part of the event.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Exactly. So that was,
so
you have to have the chefs. You have
yeah,
to. So it's like a huge team, a huge machinery going on when it comes to events. It was beautiful, like an army of servers. I was
yeah,
having
you
like
got a
30.
lot the logistics of all that
Yeah,
in place.
and after that we made some money. After, I mean, we made money, and I think after 3-4 years being in business with him, we kind of separate a little bit the relationship. We were actually young, we were pretty much too young to find money or success that is that fast. So he was going on his mind a little bit different. I was on my own way.
Yeah.
So we kind of separate a little bit. We kind of break down. And then I got into a club with a friend of mine, somebody that I've met. So that's how we kind of broke up.
Mm.
The things didn't work that well. You split a little bit. Then I found somebody with a club that I can be part of and stuff. And I was like, okay, club, now it's interesting. I was like, this guy can take over and he's going to be fine. And I got out. I moved into clubs now. I had an amazing time also rebranding that club, do all those things. Another experience with dancers, with nightlife. And
Yeah. So how was that shift from doing mostly daytime events to nighttime?
actually, weddings
Yeah.
were also nighttime
Oh, the
because
weddings at
over
night.
there they
Yeah.
start at 5 or 6
Oh,
p.m.
okay.
and
So,
they finish at 6 in the morning,
oh
because
Lord,
you have 5 courses, you have events throughout the night.
oh,
It's a
you
lot,
guys
yeah.
party.
Exactly, they really like to party. Not like here. Over there, it's really
Yeah,
party.
yeah, not
And the
just not like
clubs,
yeah. I mean, I thought Nigerians like to party. Nigerians, we
nah,
got some
they
catching up
love
to do.
Romania, bro. They love it. No, when you see
Woo!
them,
Well, I seen a challenge.
yeah. No, Romania,
Woo!
Bucharest, especially when
Oh
it comes to
man.
clubs, and
Woo! That
it's
is serious.
top in Europe.
Wow.
And after the club, with the same guy, my friend, somebody approached us because we kind of built this troubleshooting team. Me and this guy, we were very good at managing and bringing back like businesses, like a club. And we had somebody who's like, "Hey, I want to build a restaurant, actually more like a franchise. Then, but let's do like I haven't planned to make like 5 of them." So we start building the project together, and after 8 months of getting it ready and everything, we found the place. We start taking the place apart just to build the project. Some shit happened. One of them got arrested. Not my friend of me. The other part,
Yeah.
the other partners. One of them got arrested in some trouble, and the project just didn't happen. And then we took the project. We went to somebody else, and we found somebody to invest, and we start doing this project in a different location. I mean, not the same project. We changed it a little bit just to match the location, the neighborhood where it was.
So all this still in Bucharest?
They're still in Bucharest. So I was
Wow.
moving from after the club. I got into this thing to build a brasserie on a nice area, but then we moved this brasserie idea on a completely new, even better area, more in the center, even um, yeah, a better area. And over there, the partner that he was in politics. So then I found out how it is to work with politicians. That's another long story, which I don't know if I should talk about.
Definitely that would be for part 2.
Yeah. So that didn't work too well because it didn't. They were there just to
Was it like a money laundering thing?
money laundry, and
Oh
they didn't
man.
care about
Yeah,
the
I was
industry or anything, just like laundry money and stuff. And they kicked us out. Actually, they really tricked us. But I was like, bro, I have nothing to lose because everything is invested in this thing. So I'm gonna burn myself getting to this and burn it all the way down, or you're gonna pay us. Because they came like, hey, with mafia, with people over there, you know people who are powerful. So if you don't know them, or if you need the money in a way, to be protected. And now I'm just saying it's the same, but at that time, and now probably it's quite the same. I think it's quite the same because the same people who are there in power as the group that I know, they're still there. It's just with extra steps now, if it makes sense. Just better. So yeah, that we did that brasserie, and eventually after a year we had to get out of it. We got off some money with some money, and then I was waiting on a new location where I was about to open with my friend that our next just us uh, in that place, that location, no more partners, just us and the landlord. And the landlord, he was a nice guy at the beginning, and because he had somebody in that location, we had to wait like 1 year until he gets out that the
Oh,
restaurant
yeah.
that we were trying to get. And I was like, I'm not gonna stay 1 year and do nothing. And it just happened. A friend of mine came like, hey, bro, people are hiring in Bermuda for hospitality, like servers, captains, whatever. And I was
Had
like,
you ever been there before?
no. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. Like working holiday. I need a holiday. I need a break from all this fucking shit show. Sorry for the.
No, you good.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I need a break because those guys tricked
talk
me.
as natural as you do.
Okay. So the politicians tricked me. The other guy before we were close, but he had some problems on his side, so we had to separate. The financial crisis ruined me. So I start my life a couple of times from zero,
Yeah.
even between the Grand Ballroom and the club, I still had a zero moment in my life until things happened to do the club, gig. And yeah, I went to Bermuda because I was like, okay, so it's working holiday. I'm just gonna go there. I went to Bermuda. I had the best time of my life. Honestly, yeah. No, it's the best thing. To live on an island, it's completely different than living anywhere else on land because you you don't have the stress of the time, like the hours.
Yeah.
Everybody is slower. Like you have a nice rhythm. And everything, especially in Bermuda, everything is pink, blue, turquoise, or all those beautiful. I was also riding a scooter, so I was so excited.
Nice.
It was the best time, honestly. And my contract ended, and I remember I flew back to Romania, and I landed at 3 o'clock. And I got home, I changed, and at 6 o'clock I was meeting my friend that we supposed to get that location. Like, tell me what's happening with that location. Are we ready and stuff like that? And I sit down with him, and he told me, bro, the landlord, he tricked us. He signed with somebody else.
Wow.
Because that guy, I get it. They had a lot of money. They came to him. In a way, I keep saying people, everybody has a price. I guess when it comes to business, like who to put as a um, when it comes to business, yeah, everybody has a price. I don't agree when it comes to daily life, like among relationships. We shouldn't put price on those. Some people do it, but whatever. So anyway, I sit down with him. Tell me what's happening. Where are we standing? This was like 3 hours after I landed. So I want to get back into
Yeah, you're ready to go.
yeah. And he was like, bro, the landlord just signed with somebody else. And I was like, bro, you know what? I was looking around the gray buildings in Bucharest. Now it looks much better. And I was like, I'm done. I don't want to stay in Romania anymore. In Bucharest. And for me, if I don't stay in Bucharest, then there's no other city, which there are a lot of big cities, nice, close to Bucharest, but nothing like it. I was like, I'm done with Romania. I just realized Bermuda opened my eyes. And I was meeting a lot of people from New York in Bermuda because it's very close.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, man, I'm done with Romania. I have to find something to move out of here. I'm not saying I dislike or no. I'm just I get it.
I get.
Yeah,
You don't have to explain
exactly.
further. It's
And
understandable. If anybody don't get it, write to me. I'll explain to you.
Yeah, and we start looking for how to get out of it and where to go. And the only, I mean, the first plan was we had a friend in Atlanta in the States. And he was like, he's in construction, so like he has this company and stuff, he's building homes and things, and he was thinking to open a restaurant in some of those neighborhoods that they build. And we were like, sure, let's do it. We know, look, we did it before, hee ha ha. He was like, yeah man, sure, let's give it a try. So just after 5 months, when I came back from Bermuda, by the time we got ready and stuff, we decided to come here to Atlanta and give it a try and see what it's about. And that's how I ended up coming to the States.
So Atlanta was your
Yeah.
first stop.
Atlanta was my first stop.
Wow.
Yeah, and I really like it, Atlanta. I
So,
liked it. I liked
what was your
suburban.
first? Your first feeling, your first interaction in Atlanta. What was that like?
I really liked it. I like the infrastructure. You can see like everything is spread out, everything is think through, and that's what I was expecting. Like I want things to be, like good laws. When you have a business, you're protected. It's not like, oh, my partner can trick me and that's it.
Yeah.
It depends who has more money.
Paperwork don't mean anything.
But eventually, even here, you find out the law is still like, it's not that unbreakable in a way. It's still, the more power you have, the more you can bend it. So Atlanta was fine. It was very nice. I just realized it's not going to happen fast with the restaurant. It's going to take a year just to build the building. And then,
so you were building from scratch?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, man, and what should I do this year that I'm staying here? I don't work in construction, Not that it's another industry that I'll have to learn. And I don't have time now. And I was like, I still had the contract open to go back to Bermuda, which was like another 4 months. I could have started my contract in the season, and I was like, I can stay here a couple of months and go to Bermuda, and if you want, you can start building the building, and then I come back in 1 year. Or that's how it was the plan, like let's see, maybe this. And then I was like, okay, since I'm in the state, let me just travel and see some of my friends. We went to Washington, and eventually we came to New York, like a last stop before I stay here longer or I go back to Bucharest and then fly back to Bermuda. For me, I hoped I will stay in New York for a couple of months and then I just fly a little bit over in Bermuda.
Yeah.
So I found some friends of mine from back home from Bucharest. They were like, come on, man, we can help you. You can stay with us for a week. I'll help you with the job as a server. He helped me. I found the job right away as a server. I stayed with them for a week.
So it's kind of like
I
full
found the
circle.
place. Yeah, I found a room with somebody. I moved into that room. Actually, this time I was with the girl. So she was with
Oh.
me. We were together in this also. And yeah, we moved to that guy. Then we found our own place and we stayed in Astoria and we moved to Astoria. And we stayed like 2 3 months. And when the time came to go back to Bermuda, I was like, I love Bermuda. I really do. I like that life, but I'm still young, I don't want to be so settled in a way, which was a lot of fun. Jet
Yeah.
skis, it was insane, party all the time and very nice. But I was like, I like cities, like from Bucharest. Bucharest is a crazy city, much smaller scale than New York. But still, you have that nightlife, you have that, hustle, traffic,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the first thing that I liked about New York.
I was just about
I
to
was
ask
driving
you.
here, so I drove from Washington. I came to New York, and I was like, wow, I love this thing, and how they drove and stuff. I was like, because driving for me it was really important, cars
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, you
I
mentioned it.
really
That's
had
your
a good,
favorite
yeah.
memory.
So that's how I ended up to New York. I decided we stay, we moved, we got a job, and from here we just started building up. And I was looking to do the same thing like in Bucharest, which I found somebody to open a location here to do our own restaurant. But then when we were getting ready, I started managing restaurants and stuff like this over here. And then I met this chef, and he was like, I'm gonna run the kitchen, you run the front of the house, and that's it. Boom boom. We had ideas, but by the time we got more into it, COVID came.
Oh man.
Another society knockout that is not just for me, millions of billions
Global.
of
Yeah,
people,
that
right?
was global.
But again, it's something wrong with us as humanity, in the sense like we are not wise enough. We don't know ourselves enough, because that's what wisdom is. You know yourself. So it more and more, it doesn't matter the industry I get in, I still have to get down to the basic of human relationships, in a sense like if we cannot learn how to have a daily living in a beautiful way or a harmonious way or compassion, we're never gonna do anything. Even if you making money for 10 years with with your company, it depends of the industry, you're still gonna get knocked down by the society itself, which we are part of. So in a way, we bring those tables, we bring those problems to ourselves. We create those problems. How we create them, there are many ways to go and elaborate on those things, maybe another time. But more and more, I found myself getting into the philosophy of life, the philosophy of living. What's the meaning of life, what is it? Because just to work like a slave, even it's your business or you work for somebody else, you still work to make money, and something happens and we all get knocked down, and those things, they had to be understood, um,
So
by
that,
most of us.
yeah.
Like I was saying, we need a psychological revolution before we need the physical one.
Yeah.
That's will like you said, there's no physical revolution whoever changed something in the good way. It brings a similar situation, but it's still the same shit.
It's always a temporary win.
Yeah, so that's why I'm more interested to reach out, talk. I study a lot of I study. I
Oh, I know you do.
yeah,
The
I got
audience doesn't
more
know, so
into,
that's
yeah,
why I had to bring you here.
into
But Uh, so now COVID,
Oh,
you
COVID,
launched
yeah.
the restaurant. How long did you have the restaurant for before COVID struck?
No, we didn't launch it, but we were building it. We were planning
Oh,
it. The project was happening,
yeah.
and yeah, it just COVID came, stopped everything. We were planning on the side, you know. I was still having my job,
Hmm.
managing and stuff. Um,
And where was this restaurant gonna be?
in meat
Oh,
packing,
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
in
Meat
Lower
packing.
Manhattan.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Nice.
we were excited. COVID came, and I realized now you have restaurants and they just close you like that, and you still have nothing to say. I was like, this industry is also very limited. Very, I'm still somehow under authority of somebody that I don't even know or I don't even met, or it's still somebody who has power over you from all points of view. Even though we have from society itself as a civilization, but still when it's so direct it's pretty tough, because think about it, how many beautiful restaurants, especially in New York, were destroyed, right?
It's
And like
still difficult
landlords,
for restaurants right now.
bro, if I was a landlord and I have a nice restaurant downstairs, I get it, I need money too, as a landlord I have my own thing going on. But when you force me to destroy this guy, keep getting his rent, keep, what's the plan here? We
Yeah.
just fucking each other off? Like, what's the plan here? What we gonna, where this stops? So the things, they really shut down and nothing moves, and then we reopen,
Hmm.
like change the pieces and stuff, and then you start the engine again and you're good to go back on the road, or not. That doesn't make sense, so it felt like a lot of things were just on purpose, a lot of things were just, and it sucks when nobody, even after things happen, nobody has the power or the courage to come and say like, hey, I still don't like it. And remember, we had a discussion earlier, you were saying everybody was thinking that but nobody said it,
Yeah.
remember? So that guy, just because said the truth in a funny way, it make the room explode.
Hmm.
It's kind of the same thing, everybody's thinking about it, they know it is that stress, that thing that bothers you, like how things were handled, and still you put your head down and keep going with it. That's not the way, eventually we have to free ourselves. And that's why you reach the, if you read in my bio a little bit, the individual psychological revolution, which is like the art of dying in a way, because that, if you think about it, really frees your mind, it frees you, it just clears whatever you think, it takes away all your love, your pleasures, anything, right? So if we can have this art of dying, like Bruce Lee was saying, that you empty yourself, you empty your mind just for a moment. I'm not saying be like that all the time. Of course, you have to, how to drive a car and stuff. This is
Yeah.
normal. We're not talking about. We're just putting on the side those things that really in our daily life have no meaning. I mean, not no meaning, no purpose, because it doesn't matter what I believe in, uh, as a god or something, in my daily life. When somebody needs help on the street, it doesn't matter. I see a human being and I'm helping him. If it's pass out from the heat, like I just saw an older person, you just have to offer that. You don't look, oh, it's white or black, or no. If we think like that when it comes to being human and take act as a society, right, in society, we really need to be free of our ideologies and just do the right thing, because we have the skills, especially in New York. Everybody is skillful, everybody is super skillful, like a super programmed robot, in a way.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
So
there are moments that still shows that New Yorkers give a damn. I mean, look at every time somebody falls on the train tracks, you see how fast people just rush
yeah,
to help
no,
the
no, of
people.
course, yeah. And
It's,
we should, man, we should. And I remember in Romania, for example, or at least on those times, if somebody was getting entangled on the street, people from outside were, hey, stop, what's happening?
yeah.
Especially if it was a woman. As a man, you attack a woman or something, that was a problem. Like here. And it should be a problem. You shouldn't wait for cops,
Hmm.
call the cops, let them care. By the time the cops gets there, that woman is gonna be beaten, like crazy. So we have to intervene. As
Yes.
human beings, we have to be human beings first,
We have
and
to.
then
Yeah, there are so many times where you know when, like you just know, you have to
you're right.
intervene,
You just have to,
and you
you
can't you
see it.
can't.
That's what I'm saying. You see it reality will show you what to do
Hmm.
in that moment. But if you're have this veil on your face and you just scan things through your language, through your just
I
scanning
think
like a
sometimes we
robot,
intentionally put the veil because
they
we
put a
see,
veil.
we
Yeah,
know when to intervene, and then we start adding our
exactly.
veil like,
Take the
oh,
veil off,
it's not my problem. It's not.
but it's your community.
It's not.
You know.
It's not my. Well, we start using language to say, it's not really my
Yeah.
this, but this is too good a conversation to give the freeloaders. But let's not give them all that. We'll
Yeah,
save
I
because
agree.
yeah, we definitely have to bring Ashwin back for that for this conversation. So well, we got some more minutes left. I don't want to go
Okay.
without jumping to the jewelry. So how did you now get into the rock, the
The jewelry.
jewelries? How did that find you?
Well,
Or how did you find jewelry?
so
Who found who
I met
first?
I met my wife when I was managing a restaurant in Midtown, and she was in jewelry industry. I mean, she still is, yeah. And it was fun, We were working both of us in Midtown over there. I was seeing her before work. It was so nice. Then COVID came, boom, destroyed us. She got fired from her job, which was whatever. That's another story. And I understand the owner where she was working for her moved. It makes sense because again, being in business so many times and
Hmm.
and being kicked left to right, or you learn, life lessons in every industry. So it it makes sense what she did, but it was not fair. But sometimes people doing it, so it's like don't take it personally, baby. Just move on. We move on with our lives, and that's how we decided to build our own jewelry company, ecom. So we create everything in Diamond District here in New York, and we sell online.
So
And
how were you comfortable now leaving
switching,
the restaurant and
yeah, I
going into something that you have never tried,
yes,
and now
another challenge, right?
getting a new partner, and
Yeah.
not just any partner, somebody who were you already romantically involved by then
Uh,
when you decided to go into the jewelry
oh yeah, yeah,
business?
yeah, yeah. We're already living together and stuff
Okay.
like that.
So now you're going into business and you're also romantic partners. How were you how comfortable were
How
you, and how
it's
because
not.
that's a very big step.
I
And
agree. I
unlike your
agree.
other life decisions that you had made, this was
Hmm.
a lot different from
Yeah,
other decisions that you had made.
always a new chapter,
Yeah.
completely new. Um, at the beginning when we started, actually, I was keep going back and helping the restaurant where I was working at that time, helping reopen, but I was
Hmm.
just part time.
Okay.
Not anymore like full time. I was just part time in some things because I still like the energy, the people. I still had a lot of people, friends in hospitality. So in a way, I was still connected, and I'm still connected even now. But eventually, I stepped out completely from hospitality and just jewelry industry. And how we managed to work together, especially when it comes to COVID and stuff, I guess my sense of always wondering about what is what is relationship,
Mm.
not just human relationship, but relationships between animals, relationship between planets, relationship. So I always trying to dissect things all the way to their fundamentals, to their dimension. I always try to go on every dimension to their fundamentals, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
So because of that, I felt like I had this patient, when you sit with somebody. I also been in relationships most of my life, so it's not like very complicated. I know women have moods. It's normal. We have moods like everybody, especially either you're young or getting older and stuff. And it was not easy. It was a challenge for us to work together. But eventually, by keep putting pressure on things, you kind of build each other. She's on the creative direction way and plans and design and stuff like that.
Mm.
And when it comes to website, and she has all this knowledge and creativity. Uh, and I'm on the men's collection in a way, and more when it comes to uh, taking content, for photo shoots, for all those things, like editing, all the way up to posting. She's like the one who posts the things. Actually, for a while I was posting, but it doesn't matter. So we are like kind of separate. I do my own thing with editing and making sure the content is taken,
Yeah.
all those things, and also packing and whatever is needed in a way. I did all of them, but now the business became more. It grew more, and now things are more. You have to have your place.
Yes, more streamlined.
Yeah. So whatever it's on the side when it comes to photos, all those things for men collections, all the this is a band I designed myself. It's amazing. I really
Mm.
like it. I really like it. And another thing, actually, the most important thing why I really got so into jewelry, and I was like, I want to do this because very recently, and since with COVID, things start to show pop up more about lab grown diamonds.
Mm.
So once I understood what lab grown diamonds are, it totally makes sense to help exposing a lab grown diamonds
Yeah.
and
Well,
show
what?
people
How is that different from?
the mine diamonds, the
Yeah.
natural one. They are not different at all. It's just the way you create them. Uh, it's much faster. So in the soil, deep down underground, it takes a lot of pressure and a lot of heat for millions, probably sometimes billions of years, they say, to be formed. And now you take the same circumstances in a huge oven. I mean, huge, like, yeah, like pretty big, like this area here. And you put you heat it up and you put pressure in it. There's a way to bring pressure, like actually take vacuum out, I think. And then you have the seed of a diamond and you pulverize carbon and some
Mm.
other stuff. So you basically build the diamond, you grow it. That's lab grown diamond. The way it
Wow.
grows into earth for millions of years, the same way it grows into a oven. It's just that mm, on all dimensions, from atoms to molecules, cells, and all those things, in the
Yeah.
way it grows the same thing. So you can be a professional, whatever you want, diamond dealer. You cannot tell the difference with your open eye. Never, nobody. And there are just very few machines that will tell either the gas in them or a little. They will find a little bit of difference, but it's not.
Oh.
When it comes to what's actually in it as matter and how it is built, is the same thing. It's just this one takes 3 weeks to grow it. Depends how big it is, and in Earth it's just so long. And when I realized and I found this problem of, oh my god, so they have to mine the soil, right? Which you saw those huge mines of diamonds
Yes.
for diamonds, and not just diamonds, but
I love. Yeah.
all this machinery, all those things that go into excavating those diamonds, which are not very so rare. They say they're rare because they want to sell it high. Like you say, this steak is wagyu, and it is wagyu, but I'm saying it's very few of them.
Mm-hmm.
So usually, your jewelry comes with a story, and the better the story is, the higher the
The
price, the
price.
value will go.
Yes.
So when I catch this um, BS in a way
Mm-hmm.
about the importance of diamonds, and they are very important, the mined ones and stuff like that, valuable. I just realized, like, okay, because for me, I was like, diamonds are expensive. You have to have money in a way. I always had like some diamonds, some tiny things, but nothing special, never something out of ordinary. And when I realized that actually everybody can have diamonds or propose to somebody with an amazing, beautiful, minimum 1 carat diamond,
Yeah.
like real diamond, not, but because again, you cannot tell the difference. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
can. As a human with your naked eye, it's impossible. Um, and I was like, this is a great market. I mean, everybody now, from my coworkers from regular jobs, they'll be like, because I helped already coworkers of mine, like I did engagement rings for them. But until then, they couldn't afford it. mentally at least you don't try the challenge because you know it's going to be at least $10,000
True.
or crazy. But now when things are changing, it's accessible to everybody,
Yeah.
and of course who already had the mine diamonds, who already built all those huge, humongous companies and all this infrastructure to support and build and workers and stuff. They don't want to admit like, yeah, lab-grown diamonds is the same,
Mm.
especially for us as regular people.
Yeah.
It's actually better because it's clear, it's clean, it's clean, it doesn't have inclusions, it doesn't have you have always the best color, no color, colorless. So if it's gonna take a while to switch, but it's already into the companies. Like most of the big companies, they already get it. They already have it in their inventory. They already work with it.
Mm.
Yeah. So it's just now when I have a client and they'll be like, I give you anything you want in a way. At the beginning, I was like, I don't support anymore mine diamonds because it's the mining, it's all those problems that comes with it, instead of being so eco friendly with having the ovens, to grow the diamond. And now I'm just waiting or trying to bring awareness to people in a sense like, hey, look over here. I get it. Your idea is that your belief is that the mine diamond is more valuable than this one when they are the same thing. I can bring you two diamonds and again, it's the same thing. But you, because you believe in something, you're gonna give this thing more valuable,
Yeah.
more value, and you're gonna pay so much more when this thing is actually, it can be the same color, same cut, same everything, and it's at this price. So at this point, it's up to you. What do you want? You
Mm.
want to pay more because you believe in something? It's your idea because you cannot change your own mind, or you want this, which it makes sense because if we look, technology evolves in all directions. We are so better with phones, with microphones, with everything, even with diamonds,
Yeah.
which is a technology. I mean, now with all those things, we can make it. I mean, it's normal, like things to evolve, to make them easier, 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 and more accessible for everybody. So again, it's just about your beliefs. If you believe you still want the mind, you're gonna pay a lot of money for nothing.
So, and thank you for sharing that because I
Yeah, this
wasn't
is just tip of the iceberg, but
I didn't even know about
yeah,
the lab diamonds. So yeah, I'm honestly
and that's why I
that's
felt
brand
like
new.
I need to
It's
help
brand new to me.
people become more aware
Yeah.
about that you can have jewelry, which is something beautiful, the
Mm.
jewel, right? Something, and you can make your own
So
uh, unique.
if I already have the mind diamond
Yeah,
and I brought it to you like a jewelry that was mined
yeah,
with mind diamond
okay,
and I brought it to you to resize,
yeah, we can,
you
yeah.
can still do
I can do
you can
whatever.
still
Yeah, yeah,
work
yeah.
with that.
I'm not again. It's not like, oh, I don't want mine diamonds. No, they are on. They exist. The
Okay.
plan is just. I wish people would just
I,
stop
I'm
mining for
yeah,
a while, just for
yeah,
a while, for
yeah.
10 years, 50 years. Just stop.
Okay.
Just stop.
I'm asking that in case
But they don't
somebody in the
want.
audience
Yeah.
was listening and they have that type of question. But at the same time, what is what if a big company wants to buy from you
Hmm.
and go resell at what if a big company starts buying from you and starts reselling at a higher value your own jewelry? How would you feel about that?
Mm, I mean, if you're a big company like this, you'll probably want to find a manufacturer who will build for you exactly what you want. Because usually people take designs from one to another, change it a little bit. Um, I don't see really. I mean, there are companies who, yeah, you can have your piece and you will create like 20 pieces for them. It
Okay.
happens. Those things happen, but not that much. When you're a big company, you usually get your own manufacturer. You kind of skip me
Oh,
in
okay.
a way. I'm
Yeah.
working with the manufacturers where I can produce the whole piece from, which is amazing. And actually, I'm we're doing also their social media, because getting into doing this jewelry business, you have to learn social media, right? You have to learn IG, Facebook, TikTok. So we
Mm.
had a lot of things to learn about social media, yeah, and content creation. And that's how we also kind of been pushed into this other industry, right? The social media stuff,
Yeah.
which you have to learn how to know how to bring it and push your jewelry brand with it, like bring
Mm.
it out there and show. And that's why photo shoots, that's why still doing with models, still doing so many things. And because we did a pretty good job, and some friends of ours which we work with, they reach out, and now we also help them do their own accounts. We manage their accounts, which is pretty interesting, and I
Oh,
love it.
okay.
So right now we try to relaunch our brand,
Yeah.
uh, because we invested so much time helping our
Helping
friends
others.
with,
Yeah.
I mean, also getting paid, but help and learn more things
Mm-hmm.
um, about this social media and how to present a brand and things like this. And we really enjoy this thing too. So we just let things go naturally, not like crazy push, crazy or obsessive. Oh, let's get rich tomorrow.
Hey. Okay.
We just want to put bricks by bricks,
Mm-hmm.
and the right way, and not to. It is tough, but you have to keep doing it, and eventually you end up having something built.
There you go.
Otherwise, it's just gonna be, yeah. And right now, I'm just trying to find a way to be to find my place, in jewelry industry, in this content creation, and also bring the philosophy, the IPR, the individual psychological revolution mission that I want to push. And I think this will help people, even though, even if it's like not too many. I'm just, like,
It's
we share ideas between us.
one
I want
person
to
at a
share with
time.
others. Yeah, exactly.
So I need to start
If it
getting
makes sense
close
for one
to
person, is fine.
I need to start getting close to wrapping up. But before
Yeah.
we start getting to the final stretch, um, do you mind sharing one strategy that has been successful in marketing your brand on social media?
On social media, consistency. That's like the first one.
Okay.
You really have to be consistent, and the best way to do it is plan ahead. Don't rush to start. It's better just put 30 days of content ahead and then start it. So then at least you have time to build more, to create more content, because it's a lot of time consuming
It is.
building it,
I should do that
all
too.
those things, and plus editing, and it's so much to learn. So yeah, it's consistency. A very good way is to collaborate with other creators. It's very important. um and show your face, tell your story,
Mm.
uh explain the situation, like the daily life in your industry, like what's happening, how you doing, how you deal with it. Because you'll find people who are more advanced than you or behind you, or it doesn't matter. You're just gonna eventually somebody will find in your niche where you are and understand and make sense for them. um it's always, again, you need to be authentic, in a sense, like put my biggest challenge that I found is to show my face, put it
Yeah.
on social. We grow up with no phones, no being, it's just us. And then to show, or I don't like
uh,
showing off or anything, but people enjoy seeing those things. And at the end of the day, when I realize I'm doing, I'm sharing my experiences,
mhm.
which is not about me, but just have as life lessons for somebody can help. Because it's better to learn than hit your head. When somebody tells you, "Hey, watch your head," it's better to kind of watch your head than boom, hit it.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that, right?
Yeah.
So,
You know what? There's one question I forgot to ask, which before I move on, I have to ask this question. How do you maintain a work-life balance while running a business with your spouse?
So how do I have balance?
Yeah, a work-life balance, because
Oh, okay.
you mentioned it once or twice. Right from your teenage years, you've been working a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and you never, there was lack of vacation, lack of breaks,
Yeah.
and now you're working with your spouse, your partner. So you're at a point where I believe you now know the value of having balance to your work.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you manage that?
It seems to me that the most important thing is to make time for yourself
Mm-hmm.
first. Like to have time. Today I have a bad hair day, which is a little stressful, but it doesn't matter. Not every day the same.
We all do.
um, Again, I think making sure you have your daily workout, whatever it is, more or less, the sufficient, the good nutrition in a way to eat, and you have to get to know yourself. And to do that, you have to take care of yourself, in a sense, like work out a little bit, what you eat. You have to have a little bit of your rituals to put yourself in a good, healthy mindset in a
Yeah.
way. Learn new things, of course, all the time. And the rest of the when problems come at you, because usually a problem is something thrown at you. It's not like, oh, so when you end up having those unexpected problems or situations, you're apt to deal with them. you're you already did your workout, you already ate, so now, okay, let's deal. What's the situation? And to find this, what helps me find balance. And also, you in a way, we have to set time in a way to do things, and not to stay in them too long.
Yeah.
Because then you ignore other things. So the balance, that's a good question. Because balance, right now the earth is spinning, but we are in balance, you know what I mean? We don't feel the spin, we just feel the gravity. So it's very interesting on many parts. I think balance, you need those moments when you have to, in our days, you have to put your phone down and listen to your neighbors, to the birds outside. Listen, in a city it's kind of hard to listen far, but sometimes I like to listen like 2 or 3 blocks away. When you hear an ambulance going a little 5 blocks from you, but you
Yeah.
can still hear it. So if you can, with your sensors, become aware and listen and feel things around you, that's what really help you not be distracted, like pulled all over the place by distractions. In our life, either it's a phone or it's somebody or whatever. If we can always bring ourselves in the present moment, that's when you again, you see what's happening, and the
But
situation
this
will
is
show
this
you
is
what
with
to
you
do.
and your partner.
And between me and my partner is the same, because
Okay.
I kind of know when she's in a bad mood. When you live together, you kind
Yeah.
of feel how you wake up, how you do
You'd be
this.
surprised. Not everybody does that. Even
If
even if they work together. I've seen
I
it.
agree, I agree, because
So
that's, why is that happening? And I mean, why is it, I think that happens. It's because people build those images about others, especially when you live with somebody. You're like, I know what you're doing. And when you already know what the other is doing, that's exactly what it is. You have an image about that person. Now, those days, it's a movie, it's a video, it's not just an image. But you have that image in your head about that person with all the past things, the stories that I told you. So, in a way, you kind of get bored of it. It's like you always have it there. So, that's why, again, the art of dying, it's so important, because you always see this person with fresh eyes every day. If I start to remember everything that my wife and I did, or arguments or happiness or things that we did before, it's just gonna add up more weight to me thinking about her. Or when it comes for me to take a decision about her, she's not the same like she was 2 years ago, or even
yes.
a month ago. You know what I mean? We grow, we adapt, we evolve. It's culture, this is what it is. So I'm always trying to start every day. It's a rebirth in a way, and okay, it's a new day. Always try to give your best. Like, do your stuff
I
in the
like
morning.
that.
Put yourself in a position where you feel good
I like that.
and approach
Every
life.
day is a rebirth.
And
I like that
it is,
phrase.
it is, it
It is a
is,
it
it
is
is. And I'm not saying in a
it's a
sense
good
like,
thing.
oh,
No, I get the point you're making, but I
you
like
have
the
to
way
learn to
I
let
like the way
go,
you phrased it. Every day is a rebirth.
let go, and then
I'll borrow that.
that's how you always gonna have this patience for your spouse. That's how you're gonna have more, I don't know, compassion with it,
Mm.
because you don't approach it with the idea of yesterday.
Yes.
Yesterday, I get it. Yesterday was a shit show, because everybody has days and days.
Yeah.
And not just me, but you see society. Sometimes you cannot go outside because in Canada, it's a huge fire and you cannot breathe outside.
Mm.
It fires. I hope it's not going to start now, which
Well,
is quite the time.
it's coming, but
It's coming.
bad news is coming.
So you see, sometimes we really have to find
And we have
and
spiders coming too.
and put our distractions on the side and just stay there and listen to your body. See how you feel. See
There you
what you
go.
ate, how you feel. Observe the intelligence of the body, and find balance through those things,
Yeah.
to the facts, to fundamentals. Those are the one who will help you have a stable mindset. Like, okay, because you can move through thought to thought, but those can be superficial or fake thoughts or beliefs and whatever. But when you have facts on facts, you can stand on, in a sense like, okay, this is this is solid. So through
Thank
those
you.
things, you can have a better,
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate
peaceful,
that.
patient
So,
way.
uh, wrap up questions.
Yes.
There's no way I'm gonna let you go without asking you a music question.
Mm,
So, I had to change my music question from the usual way I ask
okay.
because you are an unusual guest.
Okay. I like it.
So, how do you incorporate music when you work? And who are your favorite three artists to go to when creating a jewelry piece?
Oh, interesting. So we really like listening to music, when we stay and work, or even by myself.
Hmm.
If I'm just working by myself and I had headphones, I really like to listen somebody like Ludovic Enuadi. It's a piano
Yeah, I
guy.
figured
Yeah, it's so good. It gives me
because
really into
I've never
some.
heard a Ludovic who's not either piano or
Mhm.
orchestra
Yeah, exactly.
related.
He has some amazing things, and I like his live ones when they just keep going. Um, we also, when we work together, because we kind of work together, we we build in her phone on Spotify. Um, we have those, like songs, and most of them are with voice, are without. We have different. It's a
Yeah.
random, yeah. But we listen to a lot of also new music. We listen a lot of podcasts. If it's like not when it's a work, just editing some easy stuff.
Yeah,
Oh, we
give
don't have to
us
talk
two more artists. You've mentioned one.
for music. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
that you could listen to for an hour. You've given us
It's always a
Ludovic.
mix. It's not, and I'm not sure. Some of them she knows the artist.
Yeah, so you
Uh,
like me. Sometimes it's just
yeah,
the song that.
yeah. It can be also Drake if it's something new, popular. Depends
Oh,
what it's on
Drake is
the time. It
Drake
can
is
be.
it's a bad time with Drake.
you know.
It's first time Drake we mentioned in a long time, but well, by the time this episode comes out, maybe Drake is back again.
Yeah, right. But
Drake,
yeah,
join my
depends.
Patreon. With if it's all right. Kid Dots can't find you there.
Depends.
Woo.
Usually it's like,
Oh
yeah.
man.
Usually it's like Shazam. You go to places, you hear another one, then you add it to your
Hey, you're
list.
like me, man. I have
We go with the flow. Most of the time, we go
I
with the
got
flow.
songs from everywhere. Well, you got any Romanian artist you can introduce me to? 'Cause I
Uh,
think the only person I know who might I think she's Bulgarian. Ina.
oh, Ina. I know she's Romanian.
She's Romanian?
Yeah. So
Oh.
yeah, something popular like Ina or
Yeah.
Alex Vela
There's only
or.
one song from Ina, but I was in Bahrain when that song came
Mhm.
Sun
No,
is Up.
It's great. Yeah.
The sun is up, and my boy put me on that song when I was in Bahrain, and that song was popping. She was supposed to come. It said she was coming for a concert, and
No, she was here for a concert recently.
no, when I was in Bahrain, but by
Oh,
the time
okay,
I left
okay.
Bahrain, it was over. That
Yeah.
was the only time I could go to.
I think last month she
That
had
was
one.
all my clubbing. After then, I was done. I ain't done. I haven't done clubbing like that. My clubbing expired.
The time.
Yeah, but that song stay with me. Even my daughter now knows Ina.
Mm-hmm.
That's only just that one song. The sun is up. Yeah.
Something. How was it? Not from a Vega. Oh, holograph. Holograph. It means hologram. No, yeah.
That's
no. It's not hologram. No, I'm
Romanian?
sorry. Yeah, it's it. They have those love songs, those beautiful, beautiful songs. Amazing, amazing. But again, you have to know Romanian. So,
hey, I don't know.
but even though even if you
I don't know
don't
all the
know, it's
languages
still
on my phone, but
you know songs that.
I got some popping songs.
Mm-hmm.
Some is popping, some is just. I got Ethiopian jazz.
Yeah, I
got melody from it. I got Arabic. I got some is just
Same.
that's all I need. Just the melody.
Exactly.
Some is boom, 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 boom.
Mhm.
My kid got her own playlist too. So
Yeah.
when people hear my kids' playlist, I'm like, dang, your kid, wow, she got music from everywhere. I'm like, because sometimes she hears me listening to mine. She's like, I want that song. Give me that song. I'm like, well, there you go. Add it to your playlist.
But now I just remember going back to vampires. It's such a good show. What we do in the shadows.
Oh man,
the
movie.
It's a show.
The movie and the show.
The show, yeah. What we do in the shadows. I'm not sure if it's a movie. I don't know. I just
the original. You haven't seen the original movie?
No.
The show is based on the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Taika Waititi. He's the executive.
I'll
he
check
wrote
out the
the
movie.
first season of the show. Yeah, it was his movie that they based the show on. Well, the show is the American version of the movie because the movie was set in New Zealand.
Okay.
Yeah, and then they made the American version, which is set in Staten
That's my
Island.
favorite one.
It's mad hilarious.
It's so good.
It's hilarious.
It's so good, man.
I haven't caught up to the recent.
And this is the second time we started. So we just watched it.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, that's highly recommended. It's fantastic acting and writing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So final fun question, but my questions are fun anyway. I arrive in Bucharest right now. What do I have to eat? What do you recommend that I have to eat to say I have been to Bucharest and Romania? What's your favorite cuisine for me to try?
It's funny. I mean, the cuisine is pretty heavy in a way. The dishes are pretty heavy, but they're also long cooked, so it's good. You know, the meat is.
I can handle that.
It's very good food.
I'm a big boy.
But what will I eat if I will go back now to Bucharest?
No, not you, me.
You? You should also the shawarma.
Oh, you guys got shawarma too?
Even though it's from Turkey and stuff, but we have some good
I wasn't expecting that.
Places there. You can try like stuffed cabbage rolls.
Hey man,
you're gonna if you go to Romania, you're gonna have a lot of Romanian traditional stuff. But what I'm saying, what is good over there?
What you gonna recommend that I must like? This is the food you gotta try.
Exactly that one.
That when I come back from Romania, I'm gonna tell people I've been to Romania, I ate this, and they're gonna say, "Oh, he been there. He had it."
I think that's the best one. Yeah, the rolled cabbage. So it's the cabbage leaf, and you put ground beef meat.
Okay.
You can mix it sometimes with lamb, I think, or depends.
And
with some rice. So you make those cabbage rolls.
Okay.
And you make probably like 50 of them. Depends where. And you also have this chopped cabbage next to it. And then you put some tomato sauce. It's a little smoky. First you have it on the stove, then you put it in the oven. It's a long-term cooked. And you have those cabbage rolls, rolled meat with cabbage rolls. You have it with polenta and also like pickled serrano chili and some cheese. Or no, not cheese. You can have it with sour cream. Okay. So those is like a very nice, good dish. Also the broths over there, the soup. They are also very good.
So what's that dish called?
In Romania,
Yeah,
sarmale.
saramali.
Sarmale, yeah.
Saramali. Oh, that's not bad. Okay, I can do that. Saramali.
Yeah.
Saramali. So
SARM.
any Romanian places that you recommend around
Go
here?
there. Around here,
Yeah.
I know a few places. Is this guy I just start following me now on Instagram, and he's really, uh, Romania became so popular since Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate kind of put it on the
Oh,
on
that.
the on
Oh
the
God,
globe
that
map,
did. That did. Of all
and
people.
that's when it really exploded. But yeah, I see a
Uh,
lot of people now. They keep catching it and bring it and
I
make it
knew
more
Romania
popular.
since the days of Georgie Hagi.
Yeah,
That's my
Gheorghe
man.
Hagi. Yeah,
Haji.
Hagi. Yeah, he was so good, right?
Good baller there.
Yeah,
And
and
everybody died.
also,
Everybody
yeah.
dyed their hair on in France '98. All the Romanian players dyed their
Mhm.
hair. But y'all ain't know nothing about that. Your audience, young cats. Don't know
Yeah,
that. Join my Patreon. I'll teach you all more stuff. Put you on some game.
yeah, legend.
Yeah,
Hagi is a legend.
Haji. Petrescu.
Yeah.
I don't know my
Petrescu, yeah.
Romanian ballers.
Yeah, you do know. So
Yeah.
a few in New York, there are a couple of Romanian things, Romanian places where you can go. I don't remember the exact names, but the most traditional one will be Romanian Garden. It's in Sunnyside, I think.
Okay. Well, anyone you remember, send it to me. The audience don't need to know. Just hook me up.
Yeah, that's like really where you're gonna find sarmale,
Yeah.
Romanian style, good with ingredients from there. I think they still bring it. I know the owner, and she was bringing most of it from Romania.
All right.
So it's like authentic food.
Sweet. All right. So, can't thank you enough for giving me your time.
Thank you. I really
appreciate you and sharing a lot. And teach me, especially on the diamond stuff, and the revolution, all those great memories. So, final question: what would you like to leave the audience with? It's your freestyle moment. Go.
Freestyle moment.
Yeah.
I think that's the only one with the IPR, the individual psychological revolution. I think if you discover the way to empty your mind, in a sense, just be free, be open-minded, and so you can observe what's happening around you, then you'll be much better at what you're doing in that sense. Otherwise, it's just acting according to some. It's like be responsible for. You don't have to be responsible for, because that implies a motive, right? You have to be responsible. And either you're responsible for your kid, or you're responsible for your cleanliness, you're responsible for your community. You just be responsible, as human. But when we put ourselves, I'm responsible for this, I'm not responsible for that, what's kind of happen in a job situation? Oh, this is not part of my job, but right now it's nobody else, so can you please help with this? Or so people need to really not, I hope humans will stop identifying so much or limit themselves so much with those ideas or beliefs that they really take on and hold on dearly, like just be fluent, like water in a way. Just you're not going to be the same like you were young and grow and still growing, and we still have 10, 20, 40 years, I hope, right, to live. So I can't wait to see how I'm going to be when I'm going to be 70, 80, and how my mind state is going to be at that time. And the most the most important thing, I think, if as human being we can understand suffering, right, because it teaches us a lot, this suffering that we see around us, which we all share in our human mind, human consciousness. If we can understand suffering and learn from it, and empty ourselves from this grudge of, oh, you did this, or you did that, you're like that, you're like that, all this division that it doesn't make, it's not necessary. When it comes to relationship, you really have to put your image on the side and don't build an image for that person, even if it's your partner or your friend or wherever it is. Just always approach things new in a new way. Rebirth, learn the art of dying. Understand. Think about death in a way. It's not, we all die. Everything dies, even the sun, even the planet, everything. It has a beginning and an
And
end.
and
So the the more we understand that life and death are one, and suffering is somewhere in the middle, that it's part of where we start learning, right? Because we learn as kids very quickly when we put our hand in the fire. Oh shit, right? We
mm,
learn through those suffering and pain. It teaches us a lot. So just be open minded, and that's about it. Like intelligence. Intelligence is gonna, it is and always was in a way, but now it's getting closer to be to happen more in our life, because humans that become more saturated about technology, food, and everything. Right now, if you have a job, you can, here in the States, for example, you can you're able to have most of the things, right? You can have
yeah.
a good bathroom, you can have a good meal, you can have good stuff. So we're slowly starting to understand that, okay, we can have those just with a regular job. You don't have to be a billionaire just to afford some good food or a good place to put your head down. And I hope that this will bring more openness to through relationships, not relationships for, but relationships.
Mm,
Because we are in a relationship now as friends. I'm in a relationship with my wife. I'm in a relationship with my dog. I'm in a relationship with the nature, with the community where I'm living. I'm trying to be, I'm being responsible, taking care of myself, taking care of the things around me. Don't make trash. Don't litter. Right? Don't. It's a lot of mind your own business in a way, but make sure you're doing it right. And to do that, you really have to be free from your own beliefs, because since we start as babies, right? People will tell you, do this, do that, go to school, believe in this, believe in that. A lot of things that some of them don't even believe in uh, after a while, or they were just lying, or they were just saying what somebody else said. So it's a lot of trash from a lot of people. So if we can cleanse ourselves from those things and just understand how to use them, and also build up those skills from learning and working and doing things in different industry, not just one. Because once you limit yourself to one industry, which is totally okay, I'm not saying no, but you're just gonna understand a little bit of life. And if you want to approach those daily life, those um, huge problems of living, especially into our or in today, you have to have a holistic mind. You have to have a mind that it sees the whole picture,
mm.
not just one. You cannot see fragments. If you see fragments, that means you see from disbelief and your experiences.
You can't have empathy for
Yeah. And
other
now with
people
social
and
media and
other.
internet, we see so much stuff, right?
Well, at the
50
same
years
time,
ago, we didn't see.
you always see one picture too, because at the end of the day, with social media, it's whatever you believe, it feeds you.
Yeah, it's the
It keeps
same.
you in a
The
bubble
algorithm is kind
too.
of, which is
Yeah,
which is good, and that's
and
another.
also bad too,
It is bad because we don't know how to use it,
because it keeps
right?
you in one big bubble.
Yeah,
Whatever you
but we
want, it
also,
just loads you. But
it
we got to
becomes a
bring
tool.
you in for a part two,
Yeah.
because really, you got a lot.
There's so much. There's so much to
You
talk
gave the
about.
freeloaders a lot. You gave them
Ah,
too much, way too much. Than
okay, I'm
I would
not
have
sure
liked
what
them to
that is, but
have. But thank you again, my brother.
again,
How you say
intelligence.
thank you it's Romanian, right?
Yeah,
Like
mulțumesc.
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 Yes,
Okay. See, I
mulțumesc.
got a new thank you now. So
Thank
I
you.
add that to my list. So where can people find you if people want to get in touch?
Uh, I mean, my page is not that important. Now I'm trying to.
Well, you got a
Yeah,
brand, so your
yeah.
business.
I agree. Sure. You see, my mind was also on the IPR more. So I have my own page where you over there you're gonna see the jewelry business. So it's Tobo Vlad. Tobo is my nickname from back home.
Okay.
Tobo Vlad, and that's my Instagram. And the other profile that I'm trying somehow to bring awareness in, I believe we have to give back.
Mm.
As humans, we learn, we accumulate in a way, but then we have to share it. We have to give it back because we don't take anything with us. So my way of giving back, I see, is this IPR mission that I hope is gonna bring in intelligence to people. And yeah, that's about it.
All right. So, Tobo Vlad, the IG page will be in the show notes.
Okay.
And yeah, go there, get your great jewelry, and
Yes.
get on the IPR. All right.
I will start posting more for how
Say
to buy
the thank you
jewelry.
again.
Mulțumesc.
Mulțumesc,
Yes.
everybody. And
Thank you.
see you at the next episode. Keep the love coming in. 5 stars. Join Patreon. And yeah, open your minds. Thanks for listening to White Label American. If you enjoy the show, we'll appreciate if you rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcast from. If you have any questions, comments, or have someone who will be a good guest on the show, or you want to be on the show, send us a message at whitelabelamerican@gmail.com. And make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at White Label American. Thank you for your support.